Hello there, this is DBT and these are the rooms. And alright, let's continue talking about Asphalt Legends Unite. And I say talking because today we're gonna be having a look at the special event, or rather, the Mayhem event for the car that you see on the screen right now, the Ferrari 499P Modificata. Now, I gotta admit it, this is like the third time I have to record this intro because twice I said 488 instead of 499. It's not my fault with these numbers, alright? But okay, so if you haven't seen this event, man, you're missing out. It's apparently a really good event to get a bunch of blueprints for a variety of cars, and some even that are currently in the car hunt. However, before I jump into it, if you enjoy my content, you know what to do. Hit the like button and subscribe to this channel, because when you do this, you make YouTube more likely to recommend this to other people, and in that way the channel can continue growing and I can continue making this content for you. So go ahead, like and subscribe. But like I just mentioned, there's a special event going on for this car. Obviously, the new season just started yesterday, was it? Yeah, I think so. The Gold Pursuit season. Now, normally I like doing a bit of a tour and everything, but honestly, there's not a lot to look at. There's just some events. But the main thing over here is the special event, the 499P Modificata Mayhem event. Now, this is technically a special event. It's the same format as a regular special event. So why is it named differently? Well, it seems because the rewards over here are absolutely bonkers. Now, just so that you have a quick idea of what I'm talking about over here, just have a look at this. 30 blueprints for the Ferrari Aperta, 20 blueprints for the Mercedes-Benz AMG GT Black Series, and 30 blueprints for the Porsche Carrera GT, which has a car hunt, finally, for the first time I think ever, going on right at this moment. So man, lots of blueprints, and there's more stuff to get. And we're gonna do a bit of a breakdown. I would show you every single one of these stages, but instead I spent a whole bunch of time mapping it out, putting it into a spreadsheet, and that is what we're gonna be having a look at. Now, before I go any further, I know that some of you guys are asking me, hey, DBT, are you gonna make a video on the roadmap video that GameLove released? I will. That'll be for later this week. But first, I wanted to have a look at this because I think it's super interesting to have an event like this. And of course, I wanted to do a breakdown. And of course, because I am who I am and I am DBT, I do spreadsheets. So basically I mapped it out over here. Hopefully this is gonna be somewhat understandable. I'll walk you through it and we'll see how far you can possibly make it over here. So you will see over here each one of the stages, how many conditions are required in order to unlock the stage. Obviously the first stage is always unlocked, so that's why it has no requirement. Then 20 and so on, right? Then we got the car required for that particular stage, how many stars are required, and how many conditions you can get per the number of stars. Over here, I'm going to be filling this out myself to have an idea how much progress I can make. And over here is the general reward. So for example, the first stage that I showed you, in the stage 1, you don't require any conditions. You use the Modificata, which is going to be a free try. You can get a total of 21 conditions by completing everything. And you get 30 blueprints for the Aperta, 20 for the AMG GT and GT Black Series. Just didn't want to write the entire name. And then 30 more for the Carrera GT. So that's cool. That's the one that you could do yesterday. Today, it unlocked the one for the Carrera GT. Now, over here, you're going to have a free try with the car, with which you're going to be able to get an additional 10 conditions. The rewards are going to be miscellaneous, just some random blueprints and some parts, so nothing important. I didn't want to write it down. If you have the car at 2 stars, you have the opportunity to get an additional 120 tokens from it. And at 3 stars, you can get 5 blueprints for the Modificata. So on and so forth. So basically, this is going to be very similar over here. For example, the AMG GT, same situation, right? Now, over here, I do have a bit of a question. You see that I marked it as free try question mark. And that is basically because over here, I am not sure if it's actually going to be free try or not. When I go into it, you will notice that it doesn't say free try. Normally, it would say over here. But this is also because I already own the car, so I'm not 100% sure. But I'm pretty positive that you're going to have the free try at 1 star either way. So we're just gonna run with that assumption. I might be mistaken over here. You have to correct me in the comments if that is the case, but it seems to me that it would be free try, because that is normally how it goes. It gives you free try for, even if they're rare cars, still you get a free try at 1 star. So anyway, moving on. Same situation, right? So at 2 stars, you can get some tokens, and at 3 stars, you're gonna get an additional 5 blueprints for the Modificata. Next one, you're gonna need the LaFerrari Aperta, which is, you know, a relatively common. I mean, it's Class A and it takes a while for you to get there. But this is a car that you can get through the regular old garage level, so it shouldn't be too difficult for people to have, so long as you've been playing for a while. Same situation, free try. You can get some miscellaneous stuff. At 2 stars, you can get 120 tokens. At 3 stars, you can get an additional 5 blueprints for the Modificata. Then in stage 5, we got another free try for the Modificata. And over here, you can get 50 50 blueprints for the Ferrari SF90XX Stradale. Now that is a car that was in, I think it was on the draft syndicate for when the game launched as Asphalt Legends Unite. It was a rare car, kind of hard to get to. But yeah, over here you can get 50 blueprints for the thing and an additional 50 with the Noble for the Noble M600. I think that's the full name of the thing. That's a lot of blueprints, and this is something that's why I said that this is kind of an unheard type of event. So many blueprints, it's insane. I love to see it. Next up, you got the Noble. Again, this time as a car feature or required. You're gonna have a free try, you can get miscellaneous, same situation, right? These are very similar. 2 stars, you can get some tokens. At 3 stars, you can get an additional 5 blueprints for the Modificata. Then we got the SF90SXXX Stradale. Exactly the same idea. Miscellaneous, 120 tokens, and the Modificata blueprint. Finally, you get over here to stage 8. Again, for the Modificata, it's a free try. This time, it's gonna have 50 blueprints for the Aperta, 25 for the MG GT Black Series, and 50 for the Carrera. Now, this is where I think it's a little bit funny because right now there isn't a hunt going on for the Carrera. But if you want to be smart about it and not grind more than you have to, you could always leave the car to a point where, you know, probably leave it like to 3.5 stars or something, and the rest of the blueprints you're gonna get through this event, so long as you have obviously the cars required to get to it. But overall, I don't think it's gonna be too hard. Then we got over here for stage 9, the Carrera. Now this is where it gets a little bit more difficult for you to make progress in this event, because it's no longer free tries. You need to own the Carrera and you need to have it at 4 stars, and that'll give you 16 conditions. And you can get from that 210 tokens. If you happen to have the Carrera at max stars at 5 stars, you can get 10 additional blueprints for the Modificata, 1 epic for the Modificata, and 1 epic for the Carrera. Kinda cool. We got in stage 10, same situation for the AMG GT. At 4 stars, you get the tokens. At 5 stars, you get Modificata, blueprints, an epic, and the key for the AMG GT Black. Now, I find it a little bit curious because it seems that this is the only card that requires a key from this event. You can get the key over here, and yet this is the card that, despite being the lowest class at all, you get the least amount of blueprints. We're gonna look at the totals later, don't worry. For the next one, we got the La Ferrari Aperta. At 4 stars, you can get some miscellaneous stuff. At 5 stars, you can get some tokens and an Aperta epic. And at 6 stars, you can get the Modificata blueprints plus an epic for the Modificata. At stage 12, we got again a free try of the Modificata. You get 50 additional blueprints for the SF90XX Stradale and another 50 for the Noble. Then in stage 13, the Noble, 4 stars miscellaneous, 5 stars tokens and epic, and at 6 stars you get again Modificata, blueprints, and an epic. Then in stage 14, the second to last, I suppose, you need the SF90, Jesus, I have trouble saying that. SF90XX Stradale, 4 stars you can, well, you can see over here, right? It's basically the same idea, it just changes that it's for the SF90, but that's the same thing. If you got it to 6 stars, you can get the blueprints and an epic. And finally, the last proper stage, it's the Modificata stage. This one is not a free try, and this one, the rewards depend on what you have, how many stars do you have the car at. So for example, over here at 1 star, you can get 6 blueprints for the Modificata. At 2 stars, you can get another 10 and some tokens. At 3 stars, you can get 20 more blueprints plus an epic. At 4 stars, you can get another 20 plus tokens. At 5 stars, you can get 30 blueprints. And finally, at 6 stars, you can get an additional epic. So basically, that's how this entire event goes. Now, I understand that some of these cars, specifically the Noble and the SF90XX Stradale, are rare cars that you may not own. So that might be a bit of a roadblock. But I want to show you what is going to be my progress so that you have an idea of at least how I'm seeing this. So like I said, over here was important for me to show the conditions so that I can precisely figure out how many I can do. So for example, the Modificata, it's a free try, so I can complete 21 conditions. It's marked up here. And depending on how I do things, sometimes I would make it so that it highlights, but I didn't want to do that. I was a bit lazy, so I didn't do the conditional formatting so that they highlight. But anyway, at 21 conditions, I have unlocked this one. So the Carrera, I do have it. I have it at 3 stars, actually. So that allows me to do this 10 condition plus another 6 conditions and another 5 conditions over here. I am at 42 conditions. That already unlocked this one. No problem. Actually, I already unlocked this one as well. AMG, I also have it at high-ish stars. So I'll be able to do 10 plus 6 plus another 5. I'll be fine. The Aperta, I do have it at 6 stars. So I'll be able to do 10, 6, and 5. All good. So far, I have 84 conditions done, so I have already unlocked all the way over here. I'll do another 20 over here because, again, it's a free try, not a problem. Now, the Noble, for example, that is my first roadblock. In neither of my accounts, the Switch or the Global, I have it. So I'll be able to only do 10 for the free try, and that's about it. I cannot do either one of these. So that's where I'm already stuck, at least when it comes to that. But still, thankfully, I still have a bunch of condition, 114, so I have already this unlocked. So I can do SF90XX. I don't have it in one of my accounts, so I'm just going to go with that. So another 10 conditions, and again, I cannot do this because, well, don't have it the car at all. So there is that. I am now at 124 conditions. Now, over here, we got another free try for the Modificata. I can do 25 conditions over here because I'll complete them. Puts me at 149 and already unlocked this. Now, over here, I do have the Carrera only at 3 stars, but through both the car hunt and the blueprints that I get in this event, I'm going to be able to eventually take it to 5 stars. So I'm going to assume already that I have it at 5 stars. So I'll write it down as 16 over here and another 7 over here. Fantastic. Then I am at 172. I'm still okay to do this. AMG GT, I also own it. I think I only have it at 4 stars. I might be able to take it to 5. I'm not sure, but I'm going to count it as 4 stars. So 16 additional ones. Fantastic. I have 188. I have this unlocked already. Aperta I do have at 6 stars, so I'll be able to do 13, 4, and 6. And where am I? 211. 210. I already unlocked this one as well. Fantastic. So that's another 20. And this is where I get stuck. So I managed to get all the way to stage 12. And I got 231 conditions. And the next one needed 240. Now, to be completely honest, at this point, I am kind of stuck anyway. Because I do not have the Noble. I don't own it at all. And even if I did own it, I would need to have it at 4 stars in order to do a little bit more of progress over here. Now, here's where things can be a little bit different depending on your own progress in the game. So, for example, let me think on my Switch account, because that one is a little bit different. Well, I suppose that one thing that I should mention that I just glozed over is the fact that by me already reaching over here, even though I did not own in my global account the SF90 nor the Noble, I will already own them. Why? Because I already got 50 blueprints over here for the SF90, plus another 50 over here. That's already 100 blueprints. That thing needs, I believe, like, I don't even know, like 70 blueprints, I believe, to unlock. So already it's an unlock and probably 2 stars already. Same thing with the Noble. So long as you have a relatively decent garage with some of these cars, you're gonna be able to get these 2 cars for free as well. Now this, like I said, on my Switch account makes things a little bit different because, once again, just to give you an idea how it's gonna go on my Switch. On the Noble, I might be able to get to 2 stars thanks to this, the fact that I'll unlock through it and plus get an additional star. Maybe I'll buy a couple of packs. I'll be able to get it to 2 stars, no problem. So that's an additional 6 conditions over. That puts me at 237. How many do we need? 240. So I'm already pretty close over there. SF90XX Stradale, I already own at 1 star in that account, but 1 star plus 100 blueprints, that's a lot of progress. So I don't know, that probably take me like to 3 stars, maybe? Let's just assume it takes me to 3 stars. So at least I'll be able to do this, so that'll give me another 6, and that'll give me another 5 over here, and that puts me at 248. I've already successfully unlocked this section. Now, I'm still stuck because I do not have the Noble at 4 stars or anything like that, but let's see where else I may be able to pull something off. In the AMG GT, I'll get it definitely to the 5th star, so that's an additional 7, and that puts me at 255 conditions. That unlocks this one for me. And over here, like I said, I'll probably get the SF90XX Stradale at 3 stars with 100 blueprints, maybe even to the 4th star. And I am thinking of buying some packs. I have to think quite thoroughly about it, but when I look at the packs that are being offered in the shop, I'm like, oh man, these are interesting, because you have, for example, this pack, which can contain blueprints for the Modificata and also contains for the Aperta and Carrera GT. Now, if you don't own these cars, this is obviously going to help you a lot, because you're going to be able to get blueprints for these 2 cars, which, to be fair, are by, I suppose, like I said, this is sort of common and this is a car hunt going on, but there's a good chance of getting some blueprints for the main car as well. So that's some progress. The other pack, however, doesn't have for the Modificata, but it does have blueprints for the Speedster, the Noble, for the SF90XX, and also for the Mercedes, which not necessarily super interesting for me, but still getting blueprints for these 2 cars, it's fantastic. So I'm thinking of spending some amount of blueprints in order to get these cars and make a little bit of progress, a little bit further progress in the event. Because if I was able to get the SF90 XS to 4 stars, then that's an additional 13 conditions. Oh man, that's still so close and so annoyingly far. 268, and I'd need 270 in order to access the Modificata one. Now this matters to me because in the Modificata is where you get the most amount of blueprints for the Modificata. I know that sounds kind of silly, but it is. Over here you can get, what is that, 30, 50, 70, like that, 50, 70, 80, 86 blueprints in this thing. Now granted, you do need to have it at high stars, but that is where this whole thing is a little bit peculiar. This car, well, I don't know this for sure, it seems to me that it's gonna require 267 blueprints to take it from 0 to 6 stars. And this entire event gives you a lot of these blueprints. So how many? Actually, I guess I can show you already what are. Oh, you know what? I haven't shown you either the milestone rewards. So those are these ones right here, right? Rewards down here. I just mapped them in the spreadsheet. And there they are. So basically, this is how many conditions you require and what you can get. So you can get an additional blueprints for the Carrera, for all of the main cars, right? Including some epics for the Modificata. Now, considering that I'm at 268, I should be able to get all the way over here. So that's an additional 10 blueprints for the Noble. Actually 15, because there's 5 over here. So it's a lot of blueprints. In fact, let me just show you the grand total of what you can get in this event, and you'll see why it's a little bit confusing. Well, not confusing, but you know, it needs a little bit of planning from my side. You can get blueprints for the Aperta in total, 95 plus 1 epic. For the AMG GT, you get 60 blueprints plus the key. For the Carrera GT, you get 95 blueprints plus the epic. SF90XX, 115 blueprints plus an epic. Noble, 115 plus epic. And for the Modificata, 161 blueprints from this event. That is unheard of, at least in my experience with the game. It's crazy. Oh, and 1600 tokens. It's insane, the amount. Like I said, it seems to me that this car is going to need 267. So we're talking that you only need about 100 more blueprints in order to take the car to the 6 star. It's absolutely bonkers. And that is why I'm like scratching my head right now and being like, man, I think I'm going to have to spend some tokens. Now, there's an argument to be made like, DBT, why don't you, instead of buying packs in order to get more blueprints for your SF90 and for the Noble, why don't you just instead buy packs for the Modificata? Because these packs unlock at 115 conditions. I already shown you that it's not too difficult. Well, depending obviously, once again, on your garage. But 115 conditions is not hard. Now, the thing is that these packs are going to be 90 tokens, right? Or 900 tokens for the 10 packs. So, I mean, that's what I meant. Look at this for the Victor, and that is an even lower tier class A car. So this is going to be somewhat expensive, and yeah, I could focus on doing that, but this one I do believe is going to give me a decent opportunity to get these 2 cars. Well, I'm going to acquire the cars through the event and then start them up a little bit. I think that is something relatively worth spending on. So that's what I'm super conflicted about this whole thing. I think it's a very interesting way that they set up this event, because while it is very given in some ways, it also pushes you in some other ways to spend your tokens for the Modificata. So let me explain what I mean by that. Over here, if we look at how many blueprints for the Modificata, let's keep in mind that the Modificata requires 70 blueprints to unlock. It's not a key card, so just with blueprints. 70 blueprints. Now, you can get 5, 5, 5. Okay, so that's 15, 20, 25. And for example, in my case, 25, 35, 45, 55. That's what I would be able to get, 55. Well, if I also got these other cars, I could get 55, 65, and 75. So if you had all of these cars, you would be able to unlock the car and have access to this and continue doing stuff. But even at 75 blueprints, that would, again, unlock the car already. that cost me in terms of tokens. But I just wanted to do a little bit of a breakdown, give you my thoughts on it. If you found this helpful or interesting, let me know in the comments. If you would like me to make this this spreadsheet public so that you can do your own calculations, let me know in the comments, because last time that I did, it seemed that nobody was really interested in. Like, okay, it's fine, it's all right. So let me know what you think about this whole thing. What are you planning to do? How far do you think you're gonna make it? Do you have these cars at high stars, or how is that gonna look for you? Like I said earlier, I'm gonna be doing the video on the roadmap later this week, so expect that to come. But in the meantime, that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.